Good morning. Do you feel lonely when you're with other people? Do you feel lonely sometimes even hanging out with someone? Or are you sometimes looking up at the stars thinking you miss something that you don't know what is? Well, I'm here to tell you that your loneliness is only momentarily there and it will momentarily disappear at some moment. But you cannot become lonely. So if you know someone who feels lonely and feels that they're suffering from loneliness, that's a state where you hold on to being alone and you focused on being alone, even though you can see you're not alone. Even if you're around other people, you can say, oh, when you're not here, I feel this tremendous loneliness. Yes, you feel it momentarily. Loneliness is not stagnant. It cannot exist constantly, and if it does, it's because you're holding on to it. It's unreleased issues, trauma, frustration. So you can't be lonely. It's not existing. Being lonely is like a state that's not possible. It's like staying hungry even though you keep eating. You cannot stay in that state. So I hope it gives you some kind of comfort. It might trigger you as well, but you cannot be lonely. Even if you're old, living by yourself, you cannot be lonely because at some points your brain is thinking and doing something else. So it's feeling something different, your body, your emotion. And so you cannot be lonely. You can just feel it momentarily. And then you might practice it so much, focusing on you being alone, yet you think that you are lonely. But all you're doing is connecting to the old emotion of feeling lonely. But it's only there because you do nothing about it. It's only there because you give it energy of, oh no, I don't want to feel alone. I don't want to be alone. And we know from people not being alone that they live longer. So what you're doing, feeling that emotion over and over, and there's no guilt, blaming or anything, but you actually kill yourself faster. So if you feel the loneliness, but you don't do something about it, meaning go out and meet people, write to people online, join a community, join a new sport, a new interest. If you're old, it could be bridge. If you're young, it could be attending tennis. Loneliness cannot exist if you move and if you're in movement. But if you sit with the emotion of being lonely, which I know very well, and I even did a YouTube video on it at some point when I'm alone in Sydney, and I'm like, I feel so lonely, and I turned on the camera and I hated it, but I needed to learn how to turn on a camera and speak to a phone like this because I felt so foolish doing it. So I was doing it on the street on that evening, and I was telling myself, oh no, I'm lonely, I'm in Sydney all alone, and I'm abandoned by my cousin because he needs to date this girl, and now I'm just sitting here alone, like what am I supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. And all it was a stagnant feeling that my cousin was showing me Sydney the whole day long, and suddenly he disappeared. And I was like, oh no, I'm here alone now. But all it was is like, Mark, get used to the emotion that is now you are in charge of enjoying Sydney. Like you are the master of your own decisions and your own thinking and your own emotion. So why not sit with that emotion for a while? And what I did, I sat with it and I actually cried. At some point, I'm not laughing because it's foolish, but I was surprised that I was crying, feeling so lonely. But in fact, it was because I finally was alone, and it was a release of enjoying that aloneness and understanding. When I was crying, I was feeling a victim of being like, oh no, I was so satisfied by being, taking care of other people. My family was taking care of me. So many other people was just around me, trying to make me feel happy and enjoying, so I could enjoy Australia. But in fact, this was just a release of me being alone. And I realized I'm the master of everything that I feel and think. So why would I get so occupied with one feeling out of a million feelings I could feel, one feeling of aloneness? It's okay, it's there. Now it's there. I use it as a reminder to step out of it at any point I want. I could even stay in it for a while and be like, I feel lonely, and that's okay. Because it's just, if you sit with the emotion, it will dissolve itself. It will transform itself. Every emotion always will transform itself. So again, feeling loneliness, You're the master of your emotions. You don't have to feel it. If you don't want to, then sit with the emotion, accept it by saying, you are allowed to be here, loneliness. But factually, you cannot stay here long because I have too much proof in the world that I'm not alone. I'm connected to every soul, even me. Even between you and I, we are connected. You could not see me right now if there wasn't connection. You would have clicked away from this video long ago if you didn't know there was a connection. So loneliness is all about teaching us how connected we really are, and the lesson of like showing you that you are not detached from everything. You're connected to everything. I'm even connected to this couch right now because I wouldn't be able to sit on it. So I mean, we're all connected. Everything living, everything non-living, everything is connected. You cannot detach from that. You can only detach from feeling stagnant feelings of loneliness. So I urge you to do one thing, and there's a trick that I use if you have too much of one emotion, any emotion that takes up space and you have a hard time being in it. You can sit and breathe 3 deep breaths and sigh it out 3 times. And one more time. And then say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be. Stay silent. And that, my friends, is mindfulness. I wonder what my next thought will be. Wait for the thought. Just be curious. What thought is kind of like saying, hey, think about me, without actually inviting it up on stage? Which thought pushes itself on stage? And every time you feel that thought, you're like, thank you. I heard you. Now I will ask again, what is the next thought gonna be? I wonder. And then you listen. It helped me a lot to understand what meditation and mindfulness is. The more I asked in the beginning, I could only stay in that moment for 1 second, and then eventually 3 seconds, and then eventually 5. I can probably do around 20 to 30 seconds right now with no thought popping up. Just silence and nothing else. Anyways, guys, I hope this helped you. If it does, and if it did, please comment coaching down below if you want a one-on-one session. We can even do a clarity call where I can tell you about how I coach people and what it helped you with, what's going to help you in the future. And what I do is actually look into your future, look into your past. Yes, I have that gift of clairvoyance and psychic mediumship. And so I can look at those present and future and combine it, compile it, talk about it in a way where I give you tools how to handle your future and your now, because we can't handle our future. We only live in the now. So that's all there is, but I can give you tools. So whatever you're dealing with, business-wise, love-wise, relationship-wise, anything that's connected to your work or your daily living, or anything that has issues in it, not, flowing, and it feels stagnant, I can help you resolve that with tools. So clarity call could be just like this, where I talk to you, ask you a few questions, but mostly I don't ask much. I just start doing an intuitive session and then show you what's possible, and then explain after what you get out of a 1 hour session with me. Some people choose to do a 5 session, and some people choose to do 10. But most people, they just do 1 hour, and they're good for like a couple of months. So it's up to you. I'm Mark Barner. I'm somewhat of a nerd when it comes to spirituality. I don't think there's a life without connection. And so I'm trying to teach you how to connect more to self, and thus by doing that, connecting to others and your higher self, as well as what you might call God.